Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you for being with me again today. Today I have an article that I would like to discuss, and it is concerning the Russian missile strikes in Kiev. So, as the Russian Defense Ministry uh, stated, the Russian military will start retaliating and hit a command post of command um, in Kiev or in any other locations if Ukraine targets you know areas in or they hit targets in Russian territory. That occurred on multiple occasions. One time was when they attacked those oil refineries or place in Ukraine with those helicopters in Ukraine and Russia with those helicopters. The second time was when two missiles were launched from Ukraine to hit um, a, um, a station and a power station, hydroelectric power station in Russia, and those missiles allegedly were hit mid-air by Russian defense systems, S-400 systems, and then is this incident with the Russian battleship Moscow, um, that sunk eventually in the Black Sea. And the Ukrainians are claiming it was them who destroyed it. The Russians say no, it was a fire that occurred over there, and eventually the whole thing was figured out, and the ship was sunk by the Russians. Or they claim that I don't know big waves in the Black Sea sunk that ship. I doubt that, but that's my opinion on that. And then, strangely enough, the Americans who are able to figure out who shot what or what happened, the Pentagon does not back the Ukrainian claims that they destroyed with a rocket the Moskva battleship, the flagship in the Black Sea of the Russian fleet over there. So if that would be, and I'm surprised the Pentagon would just not say yes, they did. They're afraid the Russians retaliate. I don't know, but nevertheless, the fact is that ship sunk. The reason I don't know, but why I'm saying this is because these articles would claim that at one point that the Russians now are retaliating for the sinking of Moskva, which logically, if it was a fire, they should not retaliate. That therefore it means that they retaliate because the Ukrainians damaged it with a rocket. Well, that's not what I think it happened, but I don't know. I'm just saying what's going on here. That's why I mentioned the other attacks, the helicopters, the missiles sent. So those are reasons for Russians to hit in Kiev, not necessarily the Moskva as the retaliation which some articles claim. So this article is from Agence France Presse by Daphne Rousseau on April 16th, 2022, and it's titled Russia Shatters Kiev Calm with Fresh Strikes. So um, on Saturday, Russia was hit another military factory a day after Moscow warned it would renew attacks following 2 weeks of relative calm in the Ukrainian capital. Smoke rose from the Darnirsk district in the southeastern of the capital after what Moscow said were high-precision long-range strikes on the armaments plant. Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko said authorities were still determining whether anyone had been killed or injured in the attack. So it says here that a heavy police and military presence was deployed around a factory the day after a similar strike on a plant that produced the Neptune missile. Kiev and Washington say sunk Russia's Black Sea naval flagship on Thursday. Well, I saw that Washington claimed that they are not certain, might be. Here it says, yeah, they've lumped them together. Russia, which used sea-based long-range missiles to hit the Vizar plant on Friday, says that the Moskva missile cruiser sank while being towed back to port after ammunition exploded on board. I don't know. That's what they say. Um, so it says here this step was taken as a response to London's unbridled information and political campaign aimed at isolating Russia internationally, creating conditions for restricting our country and strangling the domestic economy, the foreign ministry said in a statement. The ministry accused London of unprecedented hostile actions, in particular referring to sanctions on Russia's senior officials. The British leadership is deliberately aggravating the situation surrounding Ukraine, pumping the Kiev regime with lethal weapons and coordinating similar efforts on the behalf of NATO, ministry said. So Britain has been part of the international effort to punish Russia with asset freezes, travel bans, economic sanctions, and so on. Well, you help them, but they get hit. That's kind of in between, isn't it? And it says here that a Pentagon official said that the sinking of the Moskva, which had been leading Russia's naval effort in the 7-week conflict, was a big blow for Moscow, while the fate of its crew of more than 500 was uncertain. So the official said survivors were observed being recovered by other Russian vessels, but Ukrainian authorities said bad weather had made rescue operation impossible. Okay, maybe. It's a big blow symbolistically, the Pentagon official said. There is a pride aspect. Losing the Moskva, one of just 3 Slava-class cruises in Moscow fleet, which was, I think, was built in 1982 or 1981, something like this. So 82, 92, 2002, 2012, 2022. So like what, 40 years, right? I don't know. Is it as a from a military standpoint? I think is an old ship, because unless they rearrange, upgraded the defense system, offense system of that, you can imagine in 1982, the technology from then, which was probably designed in 1972, and then put on this Moskva in 1982, so it was like a 50 years old technology, which is a lot compared with how technology evolved in the meantime. So I think it was, from what I read, it was just a symbol of the fleet. It was not really at the highest standards, but what do I know, right? It says under the Montreux Conventions, Turkey keeps the Bosphorus and Dardanelles Strait closed to warship in times of conflict, meaning Moscow cannot dispatch a replacement for the Moskva to the Black Sea. Okay, well, I don't think they need. I think they have enough already there before the whole thing brought. And then it says here that the United States pledged a new 800 million military aid package from my money or from the bank's money, international banking system, for Ukraine this week, including helicopters, howitzers and armored personnel carriers. And on Friday, the German government said it plans to release more than €1 billion, 1.1 billion in dollars in aid as well. Okay, what can you do? It sounds to me like the same scenario with the Second World War, when it was a dialogue or a negotiation between Poland and Germany. Poland had 2 backers, Great Britain and France, in the background. They negotiated with Nazis or with the Germany about the Danzig corridor, Gdansk corridor, and so on, in bad faith. So they were refusing everything, all the offers. These guys said, "Okay, we're going to invade you," invading them, the Poland, and then between these 3 countries invaded the other two, declared war, France and Great Britain and France, to Germany, therefore starting actually a world war, because at that point it was just Germany and Poland, and then Soviet Union got, that's a different story, and then these two countries, Great Britain and France, declared war only to Germany, not to Soviet Union, which did the same thing as Germany did. So makes you wonder, was it because some people were in control of Soviet Union at that time that were A-OK people for the Westerners? Check it out. I can't say anymore. So the same here. Russia and Ukraine, and all of a sudden the rest of the world, which is the big club, intervenes and supplies, and it's a proxy war right here. It's just, and things will escalate, I would think. It says here in a diplomatic note, Moscow warned the United States and NATO against sending the most sensitive weapons, saying such shipments were adding fuel to the situation and could come with unpredictable consequences. The Washington Post reported. Yes, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky warned Friday that Russia might use nuclear weapons out of desperation as its invasion falters, echoing recent comments by CIA Director William Burns, William Burns, like that. I made a video about this guy. Yeah, so then why don't you just surrender? If stop fighting and the Russians will not use atomic bombs. Is that the logic? Then why do you bother saying that? What's the logic? Then stop. Don't fight. Don't fight. Let them come and conquer you and take whatever they want, right, Zelensky? They could do it. Yeah, they could. I mean, they can. The Americans can do it. Israel can do it. Pakistan can do it. India can do it. And many other countries, France, Great Britain, whoever has atomic bombs can do it. Does it mean they will do it? You have any evidence? Or you just anticipate, make a scenario and you scare people and leaders, basically. For them, life of people is nothing. He knows. This guy knows everything. For them, life. So he knows them definitely. He's yeah. That's Zelensky talking about the Russian leaders or whatever they are considered nowadays. So yeah, definitely. I did not know why the Russians did not do this before and use long range or short range missiles to strike certain. I mean, I know they used the border with Poland and the border, almost the border with Romania, hitting some and then S-300s from Slovakia. They did the same way, but they I don't know why they didn't do this before and do it continuously. And I would just hit points of command, bam, 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 and I mean, if it's war, it's war. Why do you? And I'm not saying hitting obviously civilian targets or anything like that, but it's just there are locations where you have military, the command, and all that. You know where they are, don't you? I'm assuming they do. So you can. That's it's part of the war, like they would do to the Kremlin if they could. Maybe they can, but I don't know. I doubt it. But nevertheless, nothing is impossible. So thank you for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just. See you in a moment.